It's been so long since you smiled. Tell me where you left an empty child. Oh, let's have a feast on those who least expected this. The time is now, I swear we won't regret it. Won't regret it. To the lines, I got tunnel vision signs. I got higher than I like, too pretentious to rectify. Looking back, I know you tried. No, but does it still possess your life? Let's go out and get electric one more time. Everything in the world could be as we left it.
Big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're gonna lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. Looks like your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane. Press and hold your reset button and we'll come and get you.
We are taking over. Yeah, we are here to stay. Don't get comfortable in your crown. It's about to come crashing down. We are the wild ones. We are the fighting guns. We are the fire to the fuse. We are the reckless youth. We are the reckless youth.
It is Iowa Speedway here tonight for round number 10 of the top split of the iRacing National Series here for tonight. The starting grid is about to come up on your screen momentarily, but it is a schedule, looks to be roughly about 25 drivers. And for the time being, we're going to read it off while we sort everything out over on this side. But your starting grid, starting in first place will be Brian Smith. Joshua Millam starts off in second. Third place will be Kevin Burst. Fourth place is Rafael Marcello. Fifth place is Jake Roel. Michael Wright starts off in sixth. Seventh place, Jason Allen. Eighth place is going to be Eduardo Mortara. Ninth place is going to be Daisuke Yamanaka. Saw them a while back before. Christopher Allen starts off in 10th place. 11th is Jason Freeman. Neil Hetkins starts off in 12th. 13th is going to be Luke Radcliffe. 14th, Scott Crump. 15th is going to be Salva Huskar. Iago Noguera, I believe, starts off in 16th. 17th place will be Gary Girton. Brandon Trovich starts off in 18th. 19th is Bradley Delp. 20th, Scott Seaman. Joseph Johnson starts off in 21st. 22nd will be Andrew Weber, with Patrick Hendricks starting off in 23rd and Brendan Wright starting off in 24th. So, as we try and figure out how to audio once again and how to work OBS, please to let everyone know that audio issues may or may not be fixed by the time next week rolls around, because we may or may not have just gotten a new audio interface just recently. It's Pace Labs currently right now. I'll try and get this up on your screen as soon as possible. Here we go. Taking a look at the pace car as it rolls around Iowa Speedway. I believe it's only one pace lap here. We'll see as they come through turn number 4. No, one more pace lap. So welcome to the iRacing National Series. Apologies for the not the best intro, to be quite honest, but it's always improving and there's always going to be something that goes wrong at some point. But we should be all good to go as we just, at this point, wait for everything to sort itself out. Or what I should say, rather, is wait for the pace lap and the pace car to go into pit road once again. Iowa Speedway under the lights. And at this point, we're just waiting for the pace car to pull off. Brian Smith brings the field to the green flag once the pace car rolls off. Pace car pulls off, and it is green flag racing here at Iowa Speedway. So just as a reminder, in case you're tuning in here for the first time, this is the iRacing National Series, the top split of the iRacing National Series as well. It's not a league, it's something that you can do pretty much right away on iRacing if you want. I believe the minimum is D class, and I believe this is the top split, but if it is, not a lot of people really are running Iowa tonight, or this afternoon I should say. I believe NASCAR returns tomorrow as well, so that could be why everyone's getting ready for NASCAR tomorrow, as Gary Gurton in the 15 had a late start, so he unfortunately will be put a lap down, missed the starting grid, so he will immediately go a lap down. A little bit of a bobble off turn number 4, but just manages to hang on to it for the time being. And for now, it's so far so good for everyone regardless. And right as I say that, Jason Allen in the 11 gets very, very close to the outside wall of turn number 2. And here at this track, that outside wall comes up very quickly, and with the constant turning, the constant left-hand turn down the front straightaway, you're going to be at a possible loss of grip off of turn 4. So we'll see as Kevin Burris attempts to defend from Jake Roel for position number 3 for the time being. At 5:40, no cautions here as well in the iRacing National Series. It's a sprint race and a survival race in a sense. As we take a look at the lead once again, Brian Smith continues to lead the way as here comes Jake Roel down to the inside lane. He'll pass Kevin Burris right away. Maybe not. A little bit of a slide. Just hangs on to it, but so far so good. A little bit of a battle behind. Daisuke Yamanaka is going to go 3 wide with Jason Freeman way on the inside. That's going to be contact. Around goes Jason Allen in the number 11 in turn 1, and he will be sent to the back of the field all the way down to 23rd. He gets back going, but not without a scratch, unfortunately. Jason Allen has that left side all torn up at this point. We'll get a replay here right away as soon as possible. Going to be riding on board in the here in car in the gearbox. Once we get everything set up, once again, apologies for the delay, but again, no cautions here in this series, and you see the 6 dives down, makes it 3 wide, the 3 moves up to give space, and suddenly there was absolutely nowhere to go. One more look on board. Jason Freeman sees it's 2 wide, goes down to the inside. around goes Jason Allen, unfortunately. Well, we are going to go back to live pictures with 30 laps to go at the start-finish line. Brian Smith continues to lead the way. Jason Freeman looking to challenge for the top 5 on the inside of the 18. That is Raphael. Oh, that was a little too close for comfort again. More close, near close contact, I should say. Marcelo, I believe. Any name pronunciation list at this point, but Marcelio, I believe is how that's pronounced. Oh, just cuts across the number 3's back bumper, and I think he just got a shot from Yamanaka as well. The 3 aren't too happy about that. We're going to stick with the shot in case anything does happen, but they seem to have calmed it down for the time being. We're going to take a quick replay and go on board the number 3 for the time being. Again, the replay up on your screen right now. Maybe the 18 just backed out by the looks of it. Nothing intentional, of course. As we will now go back to live pictures here around Iowa Speedway. Brian Smith continues to lead in that number 4 machine, representing the Michigan Club. And from the Michigan Club as well on iRacing, Joshua Milam in second place in hot pursuit, just about 0.3 of a second off as well. Jake Rowell, well, 2 seconds back from the leader, and just about the same distance, 2 seconds back as well from second place. And at that point, well, your top 2 have officially run away with this race for the time being, at least. Remember, if these 2 are running this far ahead for now, then it's not exactly going to work out for them later on when tires start to become a little bit of a factor. But for now, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So I thought Brian Smith was going to go to the inside. I thought Milan was going to go to the inside. He decided against it, at least on the entry to turn 3, as they headed down the back straightaway. So lap 16 now on the board. At this point, it's just a little bit of a chase now, and I think Jake Roel, if you look at the intervals there, top 3, well, it's about relatively the same time. I believe they've evened themselves off, and we'll actually get, I believe we can get a comparison of some sorts of their lap times at the start-finish line. So Joshua Milam, 24.510 at the start-finish line. It's a 24.797 for Jake Roel, and essentially pretty much the entire rest of the field. But these top 2 are the only drivers running essentially in the 24.5 or higher range for the time being. Your leader, Brian Smith, ran a 24.462 the last time around. This time around, he runs a 10th slower, as does Joshua Milan. And it's a matter of waiting now to see who's used up their tires the most. And again, just to reiterate, it sounds like over at least on this side, microphone not having the best of days, so hopefully the new interface will negate that issue, but we'll see regardless next week. But in the meantime, right now, we're just watching these 2 drive around here for the time being. And in fact, we'll go back to the top 3 as Kevin Burris is going to make a pass as well, with Jason Freeman on the inside. Jake Roel getting shuffled back on the outside lane. This is for this is 3rd, 4th, and 5th all in one shot right here. 3rd is the number 2, 4th is now the number 6, and 5th is now Jake Roel after getting shuffled back. And I think Roel may have used up all of his stuff for the time being. We'll see how his tires fare in this second half of the race. And as we go to the halfway point, well, we may or may not take a break. We'll see, but just as a reminder, you can sponsor the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. 2 more races left, $25 per advertising slot, or advertisement in a sense at this point. 2 more races, though, that we are having before we go on our summer and maybe a bit of a fall break. We'll see. Might come back in the winter, of course, subject to change. If you're interested in sponsoring the last 2 broadcasts, go to facebook.com/Racing Line Broadcasting Network and contact us over, message us over on that page. We appreciate your consideration as well. In the meantime, you won't miss a single thing here as we will go double wide. Racing is going to be up on the top left, advertising on the bottom right, as per usual, and you still won't miss a single thing as we continue to watch the brewing battle between first place of Brian Smith and second place of Joshua Milam. This is the iRacing National Series top split here at Iowa. 18 laps to go, 17 at the line, 40-lap race total, no cautions. Can Joshua Milam pull off the win?
Coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson. Unbelievable finish. It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Paloma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett Low. 4 wide at the stripe. For all his work here on this outside line, neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out? Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron. Drag race to the line. It's so close to call.
Back live here, Iowa Speedway, coming down to 8 laps to go between Brian Smith in the number 4 and Joshua Milam in the number 5. Both of these drivers have been battling non-stop essentially ever since the start of this race. And now at this point, there's a battle 3 wide actually in the middle for about 6th place as these top two start to continue to pull away. It was 2.2 seconds before the break, and now it is 3.7 seconds in total, as you can see over there on the timing tower, the right-hand side of the screen. Under the lights, 40 laps total, no cautions, of course, here in the top split of the iRacing National Series. And I was wondering, I said earlier before the halfway point, and as the halfway point was approaching, how many, if I could actually English properly, that would be a lot better. But I was wondering how much tires have been used up, how much of the tires have been used up by these drivers. That's what I'm trying to say, if I could properly speak. But in the meantime, it's going to be nearly 3 wide. It's a crash in turn 1 rather. Someone got the worst, but that's Michael Wright. Another driver, the 12, with Bradley Delp also involved. Probably not going to be happy about that, as the 14, Jake Rowell, goes around the outside. Not sure what happened to Rowell. He did get shuffled back a little bit earlier on, but it looks to be fine so far. And we're going to take a quick replay for the time being while we still do have the chance. Not entirely sure what had happened the last time around. Replay up on your screen right now, though. It's almost close contact. The 12 tries to go down, a bit too eager, and then the 1 just gets into the back. The 7 goes into the outside wall, relatively hangs on to it, but I think the 12 or the 1, maybe they definitely were not happy with each other after that. Somebody wasn't happy with someone, that may be for sure. But in the meantime, though, the lead is still Brian Smith. It's still Joshua Milam in second. So far, Joshua Milam, as closest he has been, was directly behind Brian Smith, and now coming to 2.5 laps to go down the back straightaway, 2 laps to go at the start-finish line. At this point, it's just a matter of waiting and seeing if Milam has something left, or if Brian Smith has pretty much distanced the gap enough for the time being. It is 2 laps to go at Iowa, down the back straightaway, 1.5 laps to go. Both of these two have been 1 and 2 for a majority of the race ever since the start. Ever since they qualified in the showing, why they have positions 1 and 2 for that reason. White flag this time by at Iowa Speedway. And it's going to be going through turns 1 and 2, down the back straightaway. Milam about 0.3 seconds back. Doesn't look to have anything. Unless something happens to the number 4, Brian Smith, he'll make it clean through turns 3 and 4. Off turn number 4, the number 4, Brian Smith, wins at Iowa. Absolutely incredible drive by Brian Smith to get the win here tonight at Iowa. Congratulations to Brian Smith. Great drive by him. Great drive by Joshua Milam as well to keep up with Brian Smith throughout the race, especially within 3/10 just by the end of it. Absolutely incredible. Brian Smith with Club Michigan on his car will burn it down on the front straightaway. Our finishing results are as follows. It is Joshua Milam, unfortunately finishing in second, but Brian Smith victorious with Joshua Milam finishing in second. Third place, Kevin Burrs. Fourth place was Jason Freeman. Fifth place was Daisuke Yamanaka, with Rafael Marcilio finishing in sixth. Scott Crump finishing in seventh. Eduardo Mortara finishes in eighth. Ninth place was Jake Rowell, and 10th was Bradley Delp. After getting involved in a little bit of contact, we were from 19th to 10th. Great drive throughout this race by Bradley Delp. The number 12, Neil Heckens, finishes in 11th. 12th place was Michael Wright. Iago, I had it at the beginning, and now I don't, unfortunately. I believe that is Nogueira. Iago Nogueira finishing in 13th. 14th is going to be Salva Huskar, with Andrew Webber rounding out the top 15. 16th through 20th is going to be Brandon Travich, Joseph Johnson, Patrick Hendricks, Brandon Wright, and Christopher Allen. And then the rest of the 24-car field is Gary Gurton finishing 21st, 22nd. Scott Seaman, 23rd is Luke Radcliffe, and 24th is Jason Allen. Well, this was an absolutely incredible race here under the lights tonight at Iowa. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Next week, well, the next 2 weeks, I should say, is going to be the last 2 races again before we go on our summer/partial fall break for a while. But next week, it's going to be Homestead Miami Speedway for 35 laps under the lights. And it will be then Lanier rounding out the season just at the end of the month. Well, close to the end of the month, I should say, for at least our broadcast. So thank you all for tuning in to the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. I hope you enjoyed today's broadcast, and we hope to see you next time for the next 2 races and the final 2 races of the iRacing National Series, the top split as well for this season. We thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you next time. Good afternoon, or good night rather, wherever you may be. We'll see you next time.